योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्.
Namaskar and very good morning to respected organizing committee members of this UGC sponsored online refresher course organized by UGC HRDC Gujarat University Ahmedabad and dear participants of this refresher course. Myself, Dr. Meeta Rathore Vasadya, express my sincere gratitude to the organizers for providing me this opportunity to deliver a session for this significant refresher course. Thank you very much for this. On a very important topic we'll be discussing today, that is competencies for library and information professionals. To begin with the session, let us understand the term competencies. What is competency? According to Oxford Reference Dictionary, competence is defined as one's ability or capacity to interact effectively with its environment and effectiveness in carrying out goals. And a competency-based approach is to managing people for focusing on the skills and talents that is needed to be able to perform a particular task to a certain standard. According to Cambridge Dictionary, competency is an important skill that is needed to do a job. And what is skill? So according to Cambridge again, skill is the ability to do something well. So the presentation has been divided into three parts. First, we'll understand that why there is a need to acquire or develop competencies. In the second part, we will understand what are these competencies, like which competencies that need to be developed. And the third part will discuss how to develop this competency. So let us go on to the first part, that why the competencies. See, all of us are experiences now that there is a tremendous change in the environment of library. We are experiencing that information is evolving very rapidly, and due to which the new knowledge are generating at a very swift pace. So the traditional job of librarian which was limited to issue or return of the books, is not there. Now, the library job has changed tremendously, since libraries have been shifted now from collection to services. Accordingly, librarianship is now needed a service-oriented librarianship. Previously, it was a collection-oriented librarianship. Now it is a service-oriented librarianship. So what is the new job for library professionals now? Now the new job is to gather the authentic information. I put more stress on the word authentic over here because information everyone is gathering. It's not only the librarians, but even the laymen are getting the information. But what is the job or the responsibility of the librarian is that we should gather the authentic information. Before providing this information to our users, it is very important that we cross-check that whatever information that we have gathered or whatever information that we are providing or we are forwarding to our users, that should be authentic. We should not get trapped into the fake information. So the new job of the librarian in one line is to gather the authentic information and provide it to the users quickly and effectively. Now the major changes that the library professionals are facing, that is due to the technology. It has drastically changed the jobs of library professionals. Now the information technology has become part of daily life. And after this COVID, it has become part of not only of the professionals, but any layman. It has become very important for them to understand this new technology. And the responsibility on librarians have increased more. So this internet and innovative technologies have definitely impacted the life of library science professionals. See, the past 2 decades, libraries have seen, after the applications of technology, we went for the automation of our libraries. Then this RFID technology came. People applied, libraries applied RFID technologies in their libraries. But as we know, the technology is changing very rapidly, and now the new emergence of technologies which the libraries are facing, the challenges they are facing for implementation of these technologies are, some of them I'll highlight over here, that is application of artificial intelligence in libraries, application of Internet of Things, and then the big data application in libraries, application of blockchain technology in the libraries. Although we are not going to discuss about all these technologies today, but we are discussing that why we need to develop the technology competencies. Because now we are seeing that we'll have to develop, we'll have to apply all this technology in our libraries. So this says that library professionals, we need to develop technology skills and competencies. In a nutshell, when we say we need to develop the competencies, why? So I've given here the comparison about the 20th century library and the 21st century library. Previously, the libraries used to be a content driven. Libraries used to be recognized with the content or the collection of the library. But the 21st century library are recognized not only with their content, but also with the audience, with the users, with the stakeholders. Second point, previously library used to have only tangible objects, that is only the physical objects. But now new era library are the hybrid libraries. We are having tangible plus digital objects. Again, third point, previously the information used to be generated or used to come through one way, through our physical books or physical journals or physical magazines or physical newspaper. Now the information is coming multidirectional through physical resources as well as on-ground resources, virtual resources, through digital platforms. So these are libraries are multi-directional libraries. Previously, the focus was on the display of your content or the presentation of your library. They used to ask like, what is the collection of your library, how it has been displayed in the library. Now, the focus is also on the audience engagement and their experiences. What does it mean? Like, it's not only that the resources that you have collected or acquired in the library, but how much the users are using it, or how much, what are the experiences that they are having with the library services that is being provided by the library professionals. So the libraries are being recognized by the library services that is being provided to the stakeholders, and their positive experience will define your library. Fifth point, previously the emphasis of libraries was mainly on enhancing the knowledge. But now, along with enhancing knowledge, we should also add the 21st century skills. Next point, previously, libraries used to act independently. Now, it's a highly collaboratively center it has become. It's a connection center or collaborating center it has become. You cannot work independently. Previously, libraries were located in a particular community at one corner or at one place. Now it has gone inside the community. It is embedded, libraries have embedded itself in the community. So these are some of the major points for which it is very important that the library and information professionals should acquire or develop the competencies for the smooth functioning of their libraries. So that covered the first part, that why were needed competencies. Now the second part, which is very important, like what are these competencies? Okay, we understood that we need the competencies, we need to develop, we need to acquire, but we should have the knowledge, like what are these competencies that need to be developed. So some of the important associations and networks have designed and outlined the competencies that is required for today's librarians. These associations are like Spatial Library Associations, then CAL with its Canadian Association of Research Libraries, then this is ALA, American Library Association. They have designed and outlined certain competencies. So we'll dwell upon those competencies. So American Library Associations, they have defined certain core competencies, which includes foundations of the profession, information resources, organization of recorded knowledge and information, technological knowledge and skills, reference and user services, research, continuing education and lifelong learning, and administration and management. So they have come out with the 8 core competencies. Foundation, IR, that is information resources, organization of recorded knowledge and information, technological knowledge, reference services, research, continuing education, and administration and management. Now, Canadian Association of Research Libraries, they have designed core competencies which includes foundational knowledge, interpersonal skills, leadership and management, collections development, information literacy, research and contribution to the profession, and information. Similarly, special library associations, they have come up with core competencies such as information and knowledge services, information and knowledge systems and technologies, information and knowledge resources, information and data retrieval and analysis, organization of data, information and knowledge assets, and again information management. Now these are the core competencies. Now we'll go one by one, like these core competencies, what are the elements that are being included in these core competencies? So what is required is recognize and articulate this information and knowledge needs of the users. Analyze this information and knowledge flows. Enable this sharing of knowledge through interpersonal contacts and relationships. Prioritize this information services to meet the organization's needs. Advocate for the effective use and management of this information systems. Teaching, training, and developing information literacy. Using information management skills. Applying subject domain knowledge. And understanding the various aspects of human behavior. Next, information and knowledge systems and technologies. This competency includes following elements like engaging multiple stakeholders, then selecting and implementing information and knowledge systems, selecting and using information management tools, identifying systems and tools to meet the requirements of specific users or specific communities, designing interfaces for an intuitive user experiences, coding using appropriate scripting and other tools, curating, publishing information in usable formats, and continuously evaluating information and knowledge systems. Then the third one is information and knowledge resources. The elements in this competency includes, see, finance part is very important for this libraries, and nowadays we find that there is a budget cut cut in the budget, the first cut comes in the libraries. So we have to establish a budget for resources, and then you have to advocate for allocation of these funds. Aligning the strategy for managing information resources. Systematically evaluating new or unfamiliar resources. Delivering authoritative information resources. Managing and delivering relevant resources of all types. And last and the important one is negotiating appropriate pricing and terms and conditions for licensing with your publishers. Then continually analyzing the effectiveness of the portfolio of resources that you have acquired. Identifying experts and sources of expertise. Auditing and mapping of information and knowledge assets. And teaching others to critically evaluate information and information sources. Next, in the information and data retrieval and analysis, the elements which includes interviewing and consulting with community members to identify and clarify information needs. Develop sophisticated search and retrieval strategies to discover and retrieve information. Next is understanding search engines and information retrieval systems. Assessing the veracity or quality of information. As I said earlier, it is very important that the quality of information, authenticity of information is the responsibility of the library professional. Then using appropriate data analysis or text analysis. Then communicating the results of information retrieval and analysis. And teaching all competencies in a variety of formal and informal settings. Next is organization of data, information and knowledge assets. The elements of this competency include applying standard professional practice, developing custom metadata schemes, developing custom taxonomies and ontologies, developing retention and destruction policies. That is very important, retention of your records, or which records should be retained or which should be deleted. That policy should be designed. Training others in effective practices, applying quality control practices, and coordinating the development and implementation of archival systems. And the final core competency includes recognizing ethical issues in the information ethics, recognizing ethical issues relative to information handling, modeling ethical information behavior, teaching, influencing and coaching others, contributing to organizational policies, and assessing and auditing the organizational implementation of information ethics. So now we understood what are the competencies that need to be developed. First, we understood why we needed competencies. The second one is what are these competencies? And now we move to the third part of the third, and that is the important part, how to develop these competencies. See, due to this COVID-19, the scenario of libraries have completely changed. Previously, we were talking the technology has changed, But technology now, along with COVID, it has become very important and difficult for the libraries to prove their value or their relevance in the absence of physical absence of users. I'm sure all the participants who are participating in this today's this refresher course, they are fighting there with themselves to prove themselves, to prove their relevance, to prove the relevance of libraries in this academic community. They are also equally important. When there is a physical absence of users, how do we prove that libraries plays an important part in the academic community? So here comes how. First one, value added services. See, look, now we have to totally rethink ourselves that how should we provide the services, as the due to the absence of physical entry of the users in our library, how do we provide the library services? And that is also value added service. So here again comes the technology. We have to build integrated search environment. How to build this integrated search environment? That will go further later on. First, I'll highlight which are the points. How can we value added the services? First is implement the integrated search environment. Second, build subject and community based gateways. Third, develop virtual research environment. Fourth, provide customized information services. Fifth, prepare digital library or institutional repository. Next, it is important that make the resources secure. Next, enhancing information competencies. And finally, re-engineering the libraries. Again, understand these things. Integrated search environment, prepare subject and community-based gateways, create virtual research environment, provide customized information services, build institutional repository, see to it that resources are secured, enhance information competencies, and re-engineering our libraries. Now let's go to the first point. How to build the integrated search environment. Libraries are having plethora of subscribed resources. And there are multiple formats. So we have to highlight them into multiple formats. Create scholarly web resources on their website. Create a web page which have public domain and special collection materials of other libraries. Look, searching is nightmare for the users, you know. So we have to make it such a way that prepare a common search engine. Through that search engine, the users can search their required resources easily, effectively, and promptly. Next is subject and community based gateways. How do we do that? See, when in a university or the university, there are different university setups, there are different departments, different faculties, different subject departments, and needs of every departments are different. According to habits of faculty of different disciplines are also different. So as we see, due to the highly specialized nature of their subject, the information needs and information seeking habits of faculty, they often differ from other disciplines. So we have to build a subject and community based gateways so that we have to design it such a way so it helps them to save their time and they find their relevant information quickly. So the subject gateways are very important when there is a university setup is there or when the colleges are having a different departments. So make gateways subject based. So what that gateway will comprise? That will have each gateway will comprise a database of quality sources of sizable information on their web and make electronic lecture notes linked with subject specific database. So here we have to mainly focus on the subject of particular department and make subject based gateways of each department. In this subject gateways, create the web resources or the classroom tools that integrate information into the classroom experience. Let us develop the specific information products and services that meets the curriculum needs of those faculties or the users. So what that will include? It may include the workshops, classroom experiences, web pages, self-service reference tools, research guides, etc., etc. Next, let's go to the virtual research environment. So how to develop this virtual research environment? In here, try to provide electronic referencing to the users, electronic recommendations. Whenever you provide the reference services, provide them through either emails or there are so many social media platforms, either through Facebook page or library web page or WhatsApp groups, whatever, Twitter. Through these email alerts, you can send the articles and the conference alerts. Like library receives information about conferences of not only of library science subjects but all the departments of all the subjects. So you can forward this conference alerts to the specific department through the such email alerts. Achha, provide all the data or information that you have in a to Z format. And make electronic kits in which you on a department wise you can prepare a kit in which you will have everything related to their department, whatever information or data that you have in the library, segregate them in a subject wise and prepare an electronic kits and provide them. So this has become of the need of the day that you provide the virtual research environment. Specifically post-COVID era, this has become very important. Next is to provide them customers information services. See, nowadays everything has become very customized. Like. If you have a customized pen, you have a customized diary, you have a customized bag, everything. So similarly, information services could be a customized information service. How can we do that? Have the user profile in the library web page. You must be having a database in which you will be having the user profiles. So you can give the personalization service through user profiling, needs of their, identify the needs of those users and then give the personalization service. Customized information service is possible also through greater interaction with the stakeholders. Have one-to-one interaction with your faculties, the research scholars, understand the needs of the, and try to find out the information that they require through your sources and then provide them there. But for that, you require interaction with your stakeholders. I put more stress on this communication, interaction with the stakeholders. This is again the need of the team. Try to give them the downloading of the information on their demand, or upload their information or whatever data they would like to upload. So provide that services of downloading and uploading. This is next is also very important, is proactivity action in anticipation. Like we should not wait, like once the demand will come and then we will provide the service. We should always be a future focused. We should always think what need can be arised, what type of services may be demanded in the coming days. So anticipating those demands, be proactive and prepare yourself. In fact, provide the services before it reaches to you. That will definitely help in boosting your image. Next is provide your information services through both electronic and traditional methods. See, everyone is not comfortable with the electronic environment. Everyone is learning now. So it's not like that we have to provide only through electronic services. Wherever it is approachable, provide them through traditional methods too. Again, it is very important that whatever the new titles are releasing, that should be forwarded to the respected department, to the respected user, to the respected faculty. That these are the new release titles in your area. Because it is a library who comes to know about the new publications in the market. So be alert, and whenever you receive the new release titles, segregate them into the different subject areas and provide the titles to the respected faculty. Again, as I said earlier also about the conference and seminar information, we receive this data from various disciplines, segregate them, send it to the respective faculty. And one of the important is the courseware, whatever the syllabus or the question papers of different subjects, of different disciplines, of different faculties. Try to provide them this courseware whenever required. Next is establishing institutional repository. This is very interesting and important to showcase the knowledge that has been procured in your institute. or in your university. So institutional repository, it's a mechanism of exposing digital assets of your university. These are IRs are the content management system. It's a source of persistent URLs. And as I said earlier, it's a branding mechanism too. You can showcase like whatever like this much knowledge database our institute or our university as our faculties or our users are having this much and have this software or open source solutions in this IR. So what could be the content of this institutional repository? You can begin with your faculty's research papers, students generated researches or cases, they are developing some cases or research papers. Take those students' cases and researches. Then obviously the thesis or dissertations of the institute or of the university. You can include the examination papers, courseware, syllabus in this IR. Then annual reports of all the different departments. Then universities generally organizes MDP programs, management development programs or faculty development programs. So include those data also in this IRs. And then every departments are publishing newsletters. So you can include those newsletters also in this IR. So these are few of the contents. You can add many more things. Next is building information competencies. We have to go beyond information literacy because the challenges of new information environment is greater. You know, it's a greater access to a range of information. The speed has increased in acquiring this information, but as there is a vast explosion of information, the speed is also very fast, but then that arises the greater complexity in locating this information and linking that information to a particular user needs requirement. As the technology is constantly changing, there is no standardization. So the librarian has to become outreach librarian. The first one I stressed upon the interaction with the stakeholders. Second point I stress upon is outreach librarian. Become an outreach librarian. Don't confine yourself to your library. Become an outreach librarian. How we can do that, we'll speak more about it later on. Try to design range of information needs and search strategy. Develop whatever material you have in variety of formats. See, this point I have taken earlier also, that is a multiple formats. You have to provide the information or material or your resources in different formats. Prepare a citation styles. Next important thing is re-engineering human resources. I feel library have there are three major factors in developing the libraries: finance, technology, and HR. So how to re-engineer the staff of the library? First, determine whatever skills or abilities that is required or what type of knowledge one should procure or one should have for this library functioning. So, continuously or at a regular interval, have staff meeting, determine whatever skills is required, and establish their roles and responsibilities. Establish roles and responsibility of each and every staff member of the library. See, when we plan out certain strategy that certain system has to be implemented in the library, so you have to define that who will do what. So you assign the role to a particular person and give him the responsibility that you are responsible for this particular thing. So it is very important that you assign the role and responsibility. Create a team and partnership. It is very important to create a team, and in team you make a leader, so that will help in acquiring the leadership skill in that particular staff member, and give him the team that in this team you have to finish this project. Redesign your organization and realign the culture. And how to realign? Through training and again retraining. Training is not enough. It's not like that once you have given the training of certain things, that is enough for the lifetime. But retraining. Again and again, train yourself and your staff members. So I put again more stress on re-engineering of human resources. So this we talked about the technology competencies. But along with technology competencies, one need to develop soft skills. Like with soft skills? As I said earlier also, communication, interaction, exchanging of information by speaking, by writing, or by some other medium. Speak about your ideas, about your plan, with your stakeholders, with your staff members, with the people around you. Whenever you design a plan or strategy, please speak with the concerned people. For the betterment of your plan, share your ideas, ask their responses for the improvement in your plan. So communication is very important skill and which is highly needed in the library professionals. In fact, I feel communication is the most important because you have to speak with different type of stakeholders. Library has different type of stakeholders, like you start with the students, then faculties, then the management people, then there were publishers, then the suppliers, and with different type of stakeholders you have to speak in different manner. So you have to understand, somewhere you have to be very humble, sometimes you have to be very assertive, somewhere you have to be aggressive. So you have to understand that where you have to be humble, where you have to be aggressive, where you have to be assertive. So communication plays a very important role in the functioning, effective librarianship. Next is networking. Without networking, it's not going to be possible to run any profession in this era. Why networking is needed? For the exchange of information and also for developing professional and social context. And so try to build your context in a new and more effective way. In fact, now it has become very easy to build your network. If technology has provided us challenges, it has also given us as advantage also. Now it is very easy to do the networking with the people around the globe through these social media platforms, through digital media platforms. So communication and networking are essential skills for the library profession. Another important skill, leadership, as I said earlier, in the re-engineering of human resources. Action of leader is very important. The way leader will work, accordingly the subordinates will act. So develop leadership skills. Try to learn. If you don't understand, read the great leaders, read the books on the great leaders, read the articles of the great leaders, and develop this skill. Another important skill is management skill. The management skills you need to lead your team, to administer or coordinate a group or an individual, or to perform any task, you need a management skill. So, in a nutshell, I felt that these are some of the important innovative skills that are must in the new era library professionals. These are: a librarian should be a visionary. Even Dr. S.R. Ranganathan says in his fifth law of library science that library is a growing organism. So you should always think that it is not going to be stagnant at this point, it will grow further. So you should have a vision that after 10 years where it could go. So a librarian should be a visionary. Then a librarian should have a collaborative mindset. As I said earlier, if you want to provide services to the library, have collaboration with your faculties. If I give you one example, suppose you are having some, when you see that there are certain resources which are not being used regularly by the users. So how can we make them use it? You can collaboratively do it with the help of your faculty. Talk to your faculty. Suppose I give you an example of economics. Some economic journals are coming in your library, like Economic and Political Weekly or Yojana, and there are many more such. So with your faculties, you can talk to them, and you can ask them that they can provide assignment through these journals or magazines. Ask the students to, when they make the assignment, they should use such journals and magazines. So that way, the use of such unused resources can be increased. So providing information services, develop the collaborative mindset. Be an embedded librarian. That means don't sit on your assigned library chair. Embed yourself in the entire community of your university or institute. We'll go in detail later. Be a tech savvy. that is a need of the day. That has become compulsory. Build a virtual research environment, as we have seen in detail how we can go about that. And be a future focus. This is again, as I said earlier, as the fifth law says, think after 10 years what will be required, or think after 1 year what will be required. Accordingly, plan your library and library services. So let's go one by one. Visionary in collection development. Post-COVID, the format of collection need has changed tremendously. We need to rethink, we need to redesign our collection development policy. It is we and strategize the collection development policy so that further we can speak to our higher authority and convince them that we need to, there is a need of a laboratory change in the collection development. Because now more focus would require towards procurement of e-resources. Many libraries which are still lacking the e-resource, they are only having physical collection or physical resources. Excuse me, and they are the ones who suffer the most. So now we have to put more focus towards the procurement of e-resources. And for that, we need to rethink, we need to redesign, we need to convince ourselves first. Then only we'll be able to convince our higher authority. So that doesn't mean allocate entire budget of yours into the e-resources, but start, at least begin to begin even in procuring towards the e-resources. So what the format of the collection development should be hybrid, like physical plus online. So be visionary in collection development. Suppose some lab professionals had been visionary enough in some 5-10 years back, even in the small budget, if they had to put some amount for the e-resources, today they are in a better position than those libraries which have procured only physical resources. So we don't know what is going to come next in the future. So be prepared for that and prepare your collection development policy in such a manner that our relevance is not destroyed. We have talked a lot about collaborative mindset, like have partnership with your stakeholders, with faculties, have radical collaboration, have radical communication with them, interaction with them, and try to come out with many collaborative for libraries, for library services. This is regarding the collaboration with the in-house stakeholders, but be collaborative with the professionals of your community outside your institute or outside your area. Sharing of resources, share resources with each other. Share and integrate the ideas with the fellow library professionals in different area and different region, with the different countries. Interact with them, exchange your ideas, give your ideas, take their ideas, and try to come out with something very influential and radical and important, which can boost the image of librarians. This is, as I said earlier, embedded librarianship. Redefine yourself. Redefine the role of yours. Don't confine yourself to your library chair. Apply your knowledge and skills. Think out of the context of traditional library. How can you go outside the library, and how can you speak to your users and all? I've read some examples where people are doing on-site setting of their libraries. They go with their laptops to their users and provide them their services. They ask them what are their requirements. So have close collaboration with the researchers and teaching faculty, specifically when they are teaching faculties who are doing research for the PhDs or the research scholars. Have close collaboration and try to understand what are their topics of researches. Try to find out the information that is required for that articles or their researches, and then provide themselves. That will really not only help them in their research work, but it will give you internal satisfaction that you are really working hard for the user community. So have frequent interactions with your users. Interactions, communication, that will only help you in providing this library service. Now the time has come when there is no more reference desk at one place that people will come or the users will come and ask for the reference materials. The reference services has to be provided consultation based. Become an information consultant. Okay. Go out and take library with them to educate your students and faculty. Have great interactions, conversations, and learning from the users. The new age users, they have more knowledge, or they are more acquainted with the latest technology than us. Then try to learn from them. Don't have any ego. Keep your ego aside and try to learn from the users. As I said earlier, next generation is more advanced. So we have to learn the new technology, because without the new technology, without learning the new technology, it is not possible to move forward. So how do we learn those new technologies? Through attending professional workshops or conferences, or now the webinars or online tutorials. See, nowadays so many online tutorials are available. We can learn lot many things, lot many technology. Now we cannot say that there are no resources from where we can learn. These online tutorials will help you a lot in learning the new technologies. As we said earlier about the future focus, commit yourself that you will acquire the new skills. Try to help others. Again, exchange of ideas. Self-education. As I said earlier, online tutorials are available. Educate yourself. Participate in professional development programs. Sign up for webinars. And the very important is a risk taker. A librarian should be a risk taker. You should develop that skill. You cannot, because if you want to implement a new technology in the libraries, it's not always that you're going to be successful in your first attempt. But one has to take the risk. Without taking the risk, you cannot achieve anything. So be a risk taker. Being a librarian, be a responsible professional. Do self-learning. Try to share useful knowledge. And for all this, connection and collaboration is very important. Have compassion. Again, I put more stress on creativity. Creativity of innovation. What innovative library services or what innovative technologies can be implemented in our library so that we can prove or we can provide better library services to our users. So be creative of innovation. Be an innovative librarian. What are the emerging skill sets that requires to perform all these tasks? So the emerging skill sets that one should procure: communicate, collaborate, cooperate, teamwork, introspection. Introspection is very important. Introspect yourself that whatever strategies or that you're using, is it sufficient or is it efficient, or we need to develop or we need to improve upon it. Queries, query yourself. Data collection, as I said, post-COVID era, this skill is very important. Data collection and resources collection. Be active, be outgoing, be curious, be a critical thinker, become an idea sharer, be alert to seek out new thoughts, be risk taker, and apply your knowledge. Be a tech savvy, specifically social media savvy. Be a social player, cultivate user-friendly personality, grasp the needs of your academic community, and develop visionary approaches for meeting those needs. In a nutshell, be creative, be adaptable, be responsive, be enthusiastic, be energetic, be problem solver, have positive attitude, sharing of knowledge, self-motivated. Nobody is going to come and motivate you. Be a self-motivator. Have self-confidence to be a self-motivator. So in a nutshell, the things to adapt, as per my understanding, is develop the ability to embrace the change. Change is inevitable. You have to embrace it. Don't run away from that. Adapt it. Accept it. So accept the change and embrace it to be a successful in any profession. Get yourself comfortable in the online medium. Till now, if you are hesitating or were staying away from this medium, online medium, please get out of that cocoon. It's not only get out of that cocoon, adapt it and feel yourself comfortable in that. Get a comfortable position in your online medium. Next is create the ability to troubleshoot new technologies. Technologies will come daily. New technologies will come daily. So try to troubleshoot those new technologies. Try to develop, to learn new technologies. It's not that difficult. Once you get yourself involved in it, immersed in it, you will definitely learn. The way we learned our ABCD or Kakha Gagha, similarly, we will learn these technologies also. Don't shy of them. Have that confidence. Boost yourself and learn the new technologies. Without this learning the new technologies, your existence is in danger. So for survival also, please learn the new technologies. And for learning this, create this enthusiasm for learning. Keep up yourself with the new ideas in technology and librarianship. See, these are the technologies what we have said, artificial intelligence, blockchain or Internet of Things, that were not there that were not created for libraries, but now how we can implement that or apply that in the libraries, we have to learn that. So learn it. Create the enthusiasm for learning. Create your vision to translate your traditional library services into the online medium. Try to evaluate the needs of all stakeholders. See, the library depends mainly on your stakeholders. If your stakeholders are not satisfied, there is no relevance of your library. So try to find out the needs and then evaluate the needs of your stakeholders. Ability to question and evaluate library services. As I said earlier, introspect yourself that whatever services you are providing are enough or there improvement is needed in that. So how to develop the skills and competencies? First of all, through training. And how you will get this training? Through learning, through online medium, through teaching, through coaching, or by attending workshops, skills development program, librarian development program, by attending conferences, seminars, online webinars. There are multiple mediums. Go outside. Go outside means you don't have to leave the space. Go outside of your mind, of traditional mindset, and get yourself learned these new skills and competencies. And collaboratively, let us grow our profession and develop the professionals for the survival of our profession, for the relevance of our profession in this post-COVID era. It is very important that we develop our professionals, we develop ourselves and our fellow professionals, and that way only we will be able to grow our profession. So mantra of the era is have innovation in your thinking process, in your approach towards the new ideas, towards the new knowledge. And after that, at the time of application of those ideas and strategies, be innovative. Be innovative in your thinking, in your approach, and in your application. Change is ahead. Be, be careful, be innovative, be alert, be enthusiastic, and take our profession high with your visionary approach by developing various competencies. If you want to contact me, you may contact me through this email ID. With these few words, I would like to end this session. And once again, I would like to thank the organizing committee members for providing me opportunity to deliver the session on this important online refresher course. Thank you.